It is my privilege to introduce our esteemed speaker, Anant Prabhu Gurupar, also known as Anant Prabhu Ji. Sir is professor and principal investigator of Center of Excellence in Digital Forensic Intelligence and Cybersecurity Cell at Sahyadri College of Engineering. Sir has been teaching cybersecurity as a guest faculty at Karnataka State Police Academy and Karnataka Judicial Academy since 2011. Sir has done PhD from VTU Belgaum. He further completed his postdoctoral studies from University of Houston, downtown Texas. Sir designed I Am Cyber Safe course in 2020 to raise awareness about internet safety in rural areas. We deeply admire Sir's exceptional accomplishments, which include writing 10 books, securing 3 patents, and publishing over 25 papers in international journals. Sir's commitment to conducting over 3,000 workshops is truly inspiring, and we wholeheartedly welcome you, sir. And now I request you to take over the session, sir. Jai Shri Gurudev. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Before I begin with today's session, I will be sharing the screen. So just want to know if people can see the screen. Is my screen visible to all of you?
Yeah,
Can
it's
I?
Yes, sir,
visible,
it's
sir.
visible.
It's visible, and I'm audible. And am I visible also?
Yes, yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Perfect, perfect. So Jai Shri Gurudev, and a very good evening to all of you. It's such a pleasure to be here, and I'll be talking about AI and cryptography. But before that, I am very happy to be here, to be amongst all of you. I've not come here only to talk about this topic, but also to learn a lot from everyone out here. So um, let's have the next 1.5 hours of uh, value to both of us. So see this beautiful image. What you can see is the nice pigeons which are very happily eating their food. They have absolutely no idea that there is a black cat which is waiting to pounce on them. So I tell people, basically there are three types of people in this world when it comes to cyber security. So the first is they tell, ನನಗೆ cyber security ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ. I know everything about cyber security. That is the first type. Second is they say, I don't know anything about cybersecurity. And the third is they say, yeah, I know a little, but I'm trying to learn more and more. So what I always tell is the people who always tell that I know everything and I don't know anything, these are the ones who become victims of cybercrime. And the ones who say that, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ and I'm trying to learn more, those are the people who usually stay protected. Okay. So, having said that, people in the Lebanon, you must have seen recently what happened is they were all using pagers instead of mobile phones. In fact, they went one generation back. Now, why did they go one generation back? Is because they did not want the enemy nation to snoop on them using a technology which is called as Pegasus. So in Pegasus, basically what happens is you have your mobile phone, you have a WhatsApp on your phone, and you get a missed call from an unknown number. And then you don't have to receive the call, you don't have to cut the call, you don't have to do anything. The minute the missed call happens on your phone, that is it. Your phone is completely in control with the hacker. So they did not want a duplicate connection. So duplicate connection is where you can send and receive at the same time. Instead, they went one generation back and got pagers, so that those pages could be used for communication one way. So, for example, if the master wants to tell all these people regarding some message, they could just broadcast the message and everybody would get it. But what happened is The enemy nation, what they did, they made sure that 3 o'clock in the afternoon, all the 3,500 pages which the people were using started exploding. So that means it is very dangerous, irrespective of which device you're using. And one more device which I recently I talk about, it is called as Orion, which is made by a company called as Meta, which owns Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, everything. Now, with this glasses that you're seeing there, what one can do is they can just wear those glasses and they can interact with the digital world. And we call this as augmented reality. So, in augmented reality, basically, what happens, you get the digital world and the physical world at the same time. ಮೊದಲು ನಾವು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ವಿ, we used to wear those VR glasses, virtual reality glasses. But when you put that, you don't know what is happening outside because our screen ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಕಾಣುತ್ತೆ, you are only able to see that. But here you are able to see the outside physical world also, and also you can interact. It's more like Google Lens tara. So you see a product and then you take Google Lens and you just take a photo of that and it tells you what it is. Similarly, you can do it with your glasses. So these glasses came, and the minute these glasses came, what happened is yeah, before that, I'll just show you how these glasses work. So you can see here, there are some items, and I'm looking at the banana. And then what happens is it will just, one second, yeah. There are too many people coming in the lobby, so my screen is getting stuck. Is there anywhere where you can see that the lobby message doesn't come to me and it only goes to the presenters? I mean, I would be grateful if you could do that because it's very annoying to see these waiting in lobby messages on my screen. If it's not possible, it's fine, no problem. Okay. So basically, ನೋಡಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, so I'm looking at the banana, and the banana, it shows what you can do with that banana. Smoothie ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಎಷ್ಟು calories ಇದೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ. So all these details you get just by looking at things. So what happened, two researchers from Harvard University, what they did is they came out with a fantastic project. So you're just walking in the park and you see some person, you just look at that person and it tells you their mobile number, it tells you their email address, it tells you their details, hesaru, address, all these things it tells. Now, how does it tell? It's gathering information from LinkedIn, Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, almost everywhere where we have populated with a lot of data. It starts taking content from there. It's already scraped data from a lot of things by using Firecrawl, PIMIs, and LLMs, and then it gives you all these details. That too, you look at the person and you get to know. For example, nobody knows me, but probably if I'm just walking around your college, you look at me and tell, "Hey, Anant Prabhu, hegidiri." So this is how it works. Okay. Now talking about that, look at this. The two girls, they take this person out for coffee. So when they take him out for coffee, basically what happens is they are telling him that, you know, Neenu tumba chanagidiya, you're very nice and all that. But somewhere he feels that I think they're simply praising me. So what he does, he keeps his phone on the table and he leaves. When he keeps the phone on the table, they say, "Where are you going?" He says, "I'm going to the washroom. I'll just come back." That time they say, "Why are you keeping the phone there? You can take it and go." He says, "No, no, Dr. Anant Prabhu has very clearly told no taking phones to the bedroom, bathroom, and to the changing room." Then they don't talk a word about it. So the ones today in the 194 people are already watching. So if you are using iPhone, what you can do is just go to Control Center and go to Hearing there, and there's an option called as Live Listen. Only thing is you need AirPods. So what you have to do, put your AirPods, keep your phone wherever you want, and go 50 meters away, and you will be able to listen crystal clear, okay, crystal clear what the people in the vicinity are talking. So this is how it is happening. So the minute somebody comes on your table and keeps a phone and leaves, don't think that they're trusting you. Probably they've kept the phone there only to snoop on you, only to listen to what you're talking behind their backs. Okay, and I know that a lot of people are like me, not using iOS, but you're using Android. In that case also, you can go to accessibility, sound amplifier, and open sound amplifier. In fact, Android knows that whenever you're talking about somebody behind their back, you whisper, you talk softly. So ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು boost ಅಂತ ಕೂಡ ಒಂದು ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. So you can just boost the sound in case if you're unable to listen to them. Now, having said that, a quick question to everybody is, how many of you are using WhatsApp for communication? Comment box alli me anta hakibidi. I just want to see how many of you are using WhatsApp. So nobody is using WhatsApp? Okay, so I'm getting the responses. Fantastic. So Iga, you're all using WhatsApp, and ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, somebody asked me, so which is the hopeless app for communication ಅಂತ. I told them, ಈ screen ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, it will tell you which is the best and which is the hopeless ಅಂತ. So you can see it for yourself. So now ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಸೇಫ್ ಇದೆ, ಮಾಡ್ರೇಟ್ಲಿ ಸೇಫ್ ಇದೆ. ಇದೊಂದು ಲಾಬಿ ತೆಗಿತೇನಪ್ಪ, ನಂಗೆ ಸಾಕೈತಿ ಲಾಬಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಎಲ್ರಿಗೆ ಡಿನೈ ಮಾಡ್ಲಾ, then I can't even move it to the other side also. Anyways, so safe ide, unsafe ide, moderately safe ide, safest ide. So you can see in that WhatsApp comes under unsafe. Okay. So whenever I used to tell this, so this slide of mine is very old. So whenever I used to tell this, people used to tell what you have against WhatsApp. I used to tell their end-to-end encryption is nonsense. So that time they used to tell, no, simply you're telling this, you're promoting Signal. I said, I have nothing promoting any of the apps, because I don't have a stake in any apps, and whichever you want, you can install. But if you really want military-grade encryption, then you need to use Signal and not WhatsApp. So I don't know how many of you have the habit of reading newspaper. So 5 days back, Mark Zuckerberg said that CIA can access your WhatsApp messages. Okay, so this 5 days back, he has said this, telling that US ಅಲ್ಲಿ, like how we have CBI in India, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು US ಅಲ್ಲಿ CIA ಇದೆ. So it's like CIA can read your WhatsApp. Now where is the question of end-to-end encryption is the point. See, because we know that there are two types of encryption. One encryption is transport layer security, where if I have to send a message to Manjunath sir, so nan yen martene, I will encrypt the message from my side and send it to the server. Server will decrypt it. It will read the message. After that, it will encrypt it once again and send it to him. This is how the emails work. Okay, so we call this as transport layer security, TLS anta kariteve. And then you have this end-to-end encryption, where when I send a message to Manjunath sir, ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, the message I encrypt from my side by encrypting it with the public key of Manjunath ji, so that when it reaches to him, he is going to unlock it with this private key, which means in the between, nowhere the message gets decrypted. So this is how actually the end-to-end encryption has to work. But doesn't work that way. So you can see that if CIA can use, if you don't trust me, you take Google, and if you just type Mark Zuckerberg says CIA can read your WhatsApp. So this tells you that your WhatsApp is useless. Okay, so this is how it works. So I want to tell you what Rivest had mentioned. Rivest told machine learning and cryptanalysis can be viewed as sister fields, since they share many of the same notions and concerns. In one of the papers he had mentioned, okay, Ronald Rivest, because we all know RSA algorithm and all these things. So Rivest ಅವರು ಹೇಳಿರೋದು. Okay, now when we talk about security has got one branch which studies encryption, logi andre in the study of. So study of crypto is called as cryptology. And then crypto, I'm not talking about the cryptocurrency, I'm talking about the encryption. And in that, again, there are two fields. One is cryptography and the other one is cryptanalysis. Okay, so basically what is happening is the study of cryptography is also known as cryptology, and it originates from the Greek word cryptos, which and graphene, so meaning hidden or secret anta, and to write respectively, and logia means to study, which I said. So similarly, when it comes to the basis of modern cryptography is cryptographic algorithms around which the entire concept of computational hardness assumption, and it finds its practical application everywhere. ನೀವು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, including the fast tag that you have in your systems, in your cars. Okay, and also chip based payment ಇರ್ಬೋದು, digital currencies, computer passwords, military communication, end to end encryption. Everywhere we are using this cryptography. Okay, so in the recent years, most of the cryptographic developments has been exclusively for cyber security. Okay, so no doubt about that. And in this short section, what we are going to talk about, we're going to emphasize on the specific strengths and the vulnerabilities of that. And also we are going to talk about the implementation quality. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಿದ್ರೆ, no matter how good the encryption is, it is pointless. Okay, so having said that, ಇದು ನೋಡಿ, Ninja A is there, Ninja B is there, and text type ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, plain text, ಅದನ್ನ encrypt ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ shared key ಅಲ್ಲಿ, and the encrypted text goes to the other side, ಅಲ್ಲಿ decrypt ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So this is basically how encryption decryption works. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ if we are using the same key for encryption and decryption, we call it as symmetric encryption, and some of the best examples are DES. Okay, and then ಆ DES ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, we are using random numbers. Okay, so ಆ random numbers ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ we use different algorithms. So low level primitives ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ. So which are those? So we are using pseudo random number generators, we are using Boolean functions and S boxes, and we are also using Latin squares and orthogonal arrays. Now the problem is, all these three things can be very easily broken by AI. So this is what I'm trying to tell. So ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೀಗ, we have to go to the next level of cryptography, because all these things that are done in the DES, where we call them as low level primitives, can be easily broken by the AI. Okay, so you can look at these algorithms. 56-bit DES adre, it takes about 1.125 years for descriptions, as well as time required for a faster processor is 1 hour. 1 hour ಒಳಗೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. But if you see a 256-bit AES or a 168-bit triple DES, it takes ages to break it. But now we have got quantum computers which have already broken these things. Okay, so we'll see how it works and what it is. So I told you, same key, we call it as symmetric encryption. If we are using two keys, in that one is a public key which is used for locking, and we use a private key for unlocking, then the private key remains only with me. Then we call this as asymmetric encryption, because they're two different keys, they're not symmetric. So look at this. In cryptography, we have symmetric and asymmetric, and all the algorithms which are used even till date, RSA, DSA, Diffie-Hellman, elliptic curve, DES, ಯಾವಾಗ ಮಾಡಿರೋದು ನೋಡಿ ಅದು 1977, 1991, 1976, 1985, and just imagine the way in which those algorithms were penned that time. Blowfish nodi, 1993, one of the best of the Blowfish show, Twofish show. See, all these things were written back 30 years ago, 40, 50, 60 years ago, and they're still valid. They're still working perfectly fine. And even though we have this every 2 years again, our processing power jasti aagta ide, and wherever we have reached so far, still these people, the algorithms are working perfectly fine. So now AI ಬಂದಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, it goes beyond machine learning. Okay, so there are 4 types: symbolic AI, meta heuristics, natural computing, and statistical and non-statistical learning. ಏನಂತ I will tell you. See, for example, traditional AI branch ಅಲ್ಲಿ, where systems are based on explicit rules, logic. So I tell ಹೀಗೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಹಾಗೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, and all that. So we call this as symbolic AI. So symbolic AI is used for formal verification. After this step, this, after this, after this. So ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು symbolic AI ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ. So formal verification of cryptographic protocols to ensure they meet the security standards. So standard ಬಂದಾಗ we cannot do it as and when we want. We have to do it as per the protocol. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು symbolic AI. So that's the first one, symbolic AI. Next, we are seeing meta-heuristics. So this refers to the optimization techniques inspired by natural phenomena. So, genetic algorithms. See, my PhD was on that. So genetic algorithms irbodo, swarm intelligence irbodo, all these things. So these are used for designing cryptographic primitives by solving complex optimization problems and finding nodily Boolean functions or S boxes with specific properties. So, which I showed you here, the Boolean functions, S boxes, pseudo random, idella namage meta heuristics alli we can get it. Okay. Third, natural computing. So this involves computational models by natural processes such as cellular automata or DNA computing. And the last one is statistical and non-statistical learning. It includes traditional machine learning, which is called statistical, and other paradigms, which is called non-statistical. So we are clubbing these two and we are doing it. So machine learning is used to evaluate the cryptographic algorithm strength and automate attacks like differential or linear cryptanalysis. ಈಗ now, what is a machine learning for breaking the classical ciphers? ನೋಡೋಣ. So ಈಗ ನಾವು ಒಂದು ಪಾಸ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಬರಿತೇವೆ. ಯೂಶುವಲಿ ನಾವು ಒಂದು ಪಾಸ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಬರೆಯುವಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅರ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಇಟ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಟೆಲ್ ಯುವರ್ ಪಾಸ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ 6 ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಲೆಟರ್ ಇರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ದೆನ್ ಸ್ಲೋಲಿ ಇಟ್ ಕೇಮ್ ಯುವರ್ ಪಾಸ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ 8 ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ವಿತ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಲೆಟರ್, ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಲೆಟರ್, ಬೆಟರ್ ಟು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ನಂಬರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಸಿಂಬಲ್ಸ್ ಹಾಕಿ ಅಂತ ಬಂತು. ಬಟ್ ನೋಬಡಿ ಟೆಲ್ಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ವೈ ಆಲ್ ದೀಸ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ನೀಡೆಡ್. ಸೊ this I want to show all of you. So if your password is 4 characters with only numbers, with brute force attack, I can just finish it off in seconds, instant. So adralli capital letter, small letter, number, symbol idru kuda instantly I can just break it off. 5 letters instantly with everything. Okay, but you see, as the number of characters increase, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'll go to the last section, which is numbers, uppercase and lowercase, ಅಂದ್ರೆ capital letters, small letters and symbols. ಇಷ್ಟಿದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು 10 ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಇದು ಪಾಸ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ it will take about 5 years. Okay, and 11 ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಇದ್ರೆ 400 years. See, one character will increase your possibility of not getting hacked to 395 years ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದು. So what we usually tell is your password should have minimum 16 characters. So 16 characters ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಇದ್ರೆ it will take 1 trillion years. Okay, with the normal computers that we are having. Okay, so password ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, whenever you write a password, a hash of that password is taken. So this is how it is done. ಈಗ ಕ್ಯಾಂಡಿ ಅಂತ ನನ್ನ ಪಾಸ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆ ಪಾಸ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಇದನ್ನ ಹ್ಯಾಶ್ ತೆಗಿತೇನೆ. ಹ್ಯಾಶ್ ತೆಗೆದ ಆ ಹ್ಯಾಶ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಅನ್ನು ನಾನು ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಸೇವ್ ಮಾಡಿಟ್ಟಿರ್ತೇನೆ. ವೇರ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಸರ್ವರ್. I don't save the password. I only save the hash. And here what happens, you must have seen, whenever you get that login screen, your username, when you enter, then you enter the password. So when you enter password, even though your password is 8 characters, it will become very long. You must have seen that. When you type only, first 8, you enter, it becomes very long. Very long, and it immediately calculates the hash of that. So hash calculate madi, it sends the hash value to the server, and there it is compared. Are the hashtags exactly the same? Yes, access granted, no, access denied. So I have come till here. I'm unable to see the chat box. What I'm talking, can you understand? Okay, please use English. Yeah, sure. I will do that. So are you able to understand what I'm talking? Anyone? Is the speed okay? Can I have some response so that I know how do we go about? Okay, perfect. So at least there is somebody's responding. Yeah, fine. So let's go ahead. Yes. So now going back. Okay. So now a quick question to everybody. Encryption attack quiz. Okay. So if the only form of attack that could be made on an encryption algorithm is brute force, if it is brute force, then the only way to counter such attacks would be 1, use longer key, 2, use shorter key, 3rd, use a more complex algorithm, 4th, use a harder to guess key. So what's the answer? All right. So the answer is to use a longer key, because longer the keys, brute force becomes more and more time consuming. So similarly, when it comes to this, can anybody here tell me if I'm using a Caesar cipher to decode this message? So you're seeing the message there. What will be the message when you look at this? Makes no sense at all when you see this, because this is how Julius Caesar had first come with the method of encryption, because whenever he had sent a message from his kingdom to the other kingdom, the postman used to read it. So what he did, he used a method where letter plus shift mod 26 he did. For example, if A is 1, B is 2, Z is 26, then instead of writing hi, I do plus 3. So H plus 3 and I plus 3. So H plus 3, A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I, J, K. So H badlige K. Instead of I write L. So KL, I send it. And then the other person has to subtract 3 to get K minus 3 and L minus 3 to get high. But how would the other person know that they have to subtract 3, 4, 5 or 6? So for this, you have to hire another postman and send that postman with the message with the number 3, so that the person knows he has to do the modulus operation. But the problem again is, what if these two postmen are friends? Again, that point. So therefore, that symmetric key algorithm, whichever was being very popularly used, became obsolete, and they started using asymmetric with two different keys. But now, if you're using AI, what AI could do is it understands that this is the frequency of ciphers. Okay, so basically, whenever you use English, so the frequency of E is the maximum. Okay, T is second, A is third. So you see a page, when you see a page of letters which are there, words which are there, you will see that the maximum frequency word will be E. So if you use that logic and you come here, then probably you know that which word is having maximum here when you see which is the word. Accordingly, you can do a little bit of reverse engineering to get the word which is information security. Okay, so this is how it, if you're doing it traditionally, but AI can do it immediately. But then in 1994 itself, the Shor's algorithm demonstrates the quantum vulnerability of RSA ECC. So quantum vulnerability, but that time quantum computing was not there. So they said that RSA, ECC, Diffie-Hellman, all of them will be broken in no time by quantum. But now what we can do is, even though I told you that we are not storing the passwords in the servers, we are storing it as hash values. There is something called as rainbow table. So with rainbow table, what I can do is, if I get the hash value, I know which are the commonly used words and which are the SHA or some other hash function, MD5 or anything of that common password. See, for example, my password is I love you. Now, what is the MD5 of I love you? So I see what is the hash value. Now, that hash value, if it is there in the database, it means this person is using the password which is I love you. So this is how it works basically. So we call this as rainbow tables. Okay. Now, a quick question again to everybody is, I'll come back to the screen so that I can see all of you. Yeah. A quick question is, how many of you have experienced this, that whenever you uh, search something, like for example, you have searched Coorg vacation, you have searched that, and after that, any website that you visit, you keep seeing that Coorg ads. How many of you have seen that? Can you please say yes in the comment section, so that I get to know how many of you have experienced this? Yeah, so I'm getting the response. Perfect. Now, how many of you have experienced this, that you talk about it with somebody? Say you say, this weekend, let's go to Coorg, and then you keep getting Coorg ads. Comment, I have, you comment. So, not yes, I want to see I have, so that I get to know that even for the second question that I have. Okay, perfect. Monica ma'am and Manjula ji and Shruti ji. Perfect. Okay, so you have experienced that also. Yeah. Okay. Now I'm going to ask you something even more even more scarier, that how many of you experienced this, that you think about something, it's like you think, I think this weekend I should go to Coorg, and then you go to any of the websites and you see those ads only. Have you experienced this? I do, you put, I want to see if anybody has done that. I do. Anybody? Yes, yes, yes. So a lot of people thinking now, how does this work? How does this work is, I want to tell all of you how this works. Is this is very, very scary, because this you have seen when you search something, you get it. You have seen when you talk about something, because your devices are listening to you 24/7. You have experienced that. But most of the AirPods that you are wearing, they've got brainwave monitoring in them. Okay, since 2022, most of them, they've patented it in 2022 only. So most of the AirPods, when you put them, earpods or whichever you put them, they can monitor your neural activity, and they get to know what you are thinking. So I tell people, if you have any good research ideas or anything, stay away from wearing those AirPods and getting into deep thoughts, because probably even before you come out with the eureka, they would have already written a paper on that. So and also I tell people, I ask a question. Why do you think these apps are asking you for a lot of permissions? They're asking a lot of permissions, like SMS permission, contact permission, and all that. So when I asked somebody, why does it ask for SMS permission? He said for OTP. I said, no, it's not for OTP. It is because that app wants to know whether to sell Timex or Rolex to you. Okay. Yeah, I mean it. Timex or Rolex. See, because whenever you go to a Pani Puri shop and you do a transaction, say 40 rupees Pani Puri you eat. So 40 rupees debited from your account, and your account balance is, say, 5,000 rupees. So if you have 5,000 in your account, you will see Timex ads. And if you have got 5 lakhs in your account, you'll see Rolex ads. So this is how advertising also works. So they are using cookies, they are using these app permissions to figure out who you are, what you are, and based on that, they show you ads. If you're a guy, you will never see girl ads unless they know that you have a girlfriend for whom you can gift something. Similarly, they would never show a BMW car ad to a person who does not have 15,000 rupees in his account also, because you know that a BMW car, the oil change itself would cost about 45 to 75,000 rupees. So therefore, they know what to show to whom. Okay. Now, I want all of you to visit this website later on. It's called tosdr.org. It's a fantastic website where you realize that the terms of service that you didn't read, because usually what happens is, whenever you are installing an app, whenever you're visiting a website, it says, I have read the terms of service, which none of us read, and we put okay, and then we are surprised to see that most of the websites, see what they do. The service can read your private messages, it can view your browser history, deleted content is not deleted, especially when you send that photo as one-time view, or you send a photo as you send the photo and do delete for everyone. It's not deleted. So always a copy of it would be saved in the server. So this is how it works. So I always tell people, be careful with the devices that you use, because what they do is they use side channel attack. So this is a very interesting type of an attack, because earlier I still remember people used to listen to the sound of the hard disk. Okay, so they used to listen to the sound of the hard disk, and they could decipher what is the content that is being read or written. So this is possible. Of course, it is possible. So we call this as a side channel attack. So in side channel attack, in fact, another way of side channel attack, I'll tell you. So usually whenever top people, they talk, when they're talking, they don't talk in a room which has got a window, which got a window, and then outside it is open. They don't do it, because usually what can be done is, I can use a laser, and I can fire that laser to the window, and the laser reflects back. So when I'm talking, there are certain vibrations because of my voice on the window. Okay, so when the laser reflects back, I get those vibrations. Those vibrations I can um, redo into audio messages, and I can replay what people are talking in the room by using lasers on the window. So all these are the different types of side. Of course, it's working. It is going on from a long time. So the uninformed, if you feel that yen matarte, then what is he talking? No, no, no. It is there. It's going on. So I'll tell you what are some of those very different type of side channel attacks that are possible. One is called timing attacks. Okay, so it exploits the execution time. So otherly, in that we get to know about the cryptographic, the details about it. The second is called power analysis attack. So you monitor the power consumption so you can get to know a lot of secrets during computation. Electromagnetic attacks. So capture the electromagnetic emissions to understand how it is. Acoustic cryptanalysis. So sounds of the keystroke or your hard drives, all these things. Then cache attacks. Usually a lot of data is still stored in the private cache. So from there, thermal attacks. So based on how much heat it is emitting. Fault injection attacks. So you induce errors in the systems so that you could extract the cryptographic keys. Optical attacks. So you understand the light emissions from LED or screens to infer the data. Keystroke dynamics to understand how they have. So in fact, keystroke dynamics are used even by the websites. See, for example, I tell you what my password is, okay, and you enter my password. The website would know that Anant Prabhu is not entering the password because the dynamics in which I type my password on a regular basis, it is stored in the servers. So they know how the password he types. So when I give my password to somebody else, the way they type it will not be, though it is the same password, same 16 characters password, though it is the same, they know that this is not Anant Prabhu because the dynamics in which Anant types is not the same as the one that is being typed by somebody else. So this is called as keystroke dynamics. Then you have row hammer attacks, a very common attack where flip bits in the memory. So we exploit that electrical interference. Then data remnants, residual data from memory even after the power is off. Just a quick thing that a lot of people think that their iPhones, when it is switched off, it is switched off. No, it's not switched off. Your phone is 24/7 on. Even if you switch it off, you feel that it is off, but it is not off. Just to tell you why, for example, imagine somebody has lost their iPhone and somebody has switched it off and is taking it and going. You can still go to iCloud and there you can do find my device. So whenever your iPhone comes in contact with another iPhone, which is on, your iPhone is off, your stolen iPhone is off. When it comes in contact with another iPhone, which is on, this iPhone communicates the data to the on iPhone, and that on iPhone using its data, that is internet, it communicates the iCloud and gives the location and the time and the details of your iPhone through that. So that means if it is communicating, it means it is still on. It is maybe a state beyond hibernation, but not completely on, not off. So something beyond that where it can still communicate, but this is how it works. So, and then side channel attacks are very commonly exploited in IoT devices. So what are the mitigation strategies? We know that these things are happening. So the mitigation strategies would be to use constant time algorithms because to minimize timing variation, because the first point was timing attack. So based on timing, we understand how much time it has taken. So based on that, so constant time algorithms, add noise or randomization. We'll see a little about that. Then employ secure hardware design. So not just secure software, even the hardware should be secured with reduced emissions and conduct regular testing and auditing. So we call this as IT OT auditing, where there is so much money also involved. Usually, if anybody can do their ISO 27001 IT OT, audit and compliance, if they can do that, if they can go for auditing, because every company needs auditing and we don't see proper auditors these days. So if somebody can audit, they can charge a lot of money. So this is what people are doing. And also see here, what is happening is cyber criminals are using different methods to tell you, "Aapki gaadi accident hui hai," and they say your son has met with an accident, or they could say anything because numbers are very easily available online right now. So they use the numbers and they use these techniques to make you pay money, which we call as phishing, wishing, and smishing. I repeat, phishing, wishing, and smishing. So I can send an email to all of you telling that since you have all attended Dr. Prabhu's session, everybody would be getting 5,000 rupees, and click on the link below or something like that. Okay. Or you get access to a free course. So there's phishing. So similarly, wishing, I call and tell, or I send an SMS. We call this as smishing. So you can get an SMS like this, or you can get a call, or you can get an email. Now, what I'm more interested in the email, because the email that is sent to you when you download it, because most of us, what we do is we don't have a paid antivirus in our devices. Neither we are accustomed to using a tool like Virus Total or something similar. So what happens is when we download this attachment, what happens is that file usually is not um, scanned. So when it is not scanned, it could be dangerous. It could be a ransomware. So basically what ransomware does is it is using the same encryption method of encrypting all your files. So the minute you download it, it encrypts all the file in your system, and also all the files of the systems which are connected to your system. See, for example, you are in a lab and there are 30 computers. So it will encrypt the files of all the 30 computers. And what it will do is it will give you a timeline. It will say you pay money within 2 days or 3 days. Otherwise, we are going to erase all the data. Okay, but now they're not only going to erase the data, what they do is they exfiltrate the data, and they put it for sale on dark web. So even if you don't pay them money, they're going to make money by selling your customer data, by selling your confidential data, or something like that. So such things are happening. So usually now what people are doing is the minute they're connected to, they become victims of ransomware, they disconnect themselves from the internet because they don't want the data to be exfiltrated. And also you can use a website like nomoreransom.org to get the cryptographic key in order to decrypt it. So you can see that Crypto Sheriff is there, decryption tools are there. So you, even without paying money to the preparator, you can do the needful. So we're talking about AI for crypto and crypto for AI. Okay, so AI to support the design of cryptographic primitives, one, and AI to automate the attacks on crypto. So we're using it for both. It's like a double-edged sword. We are using it for making it, and we are also using it to breaking it. So crypto for AI is use of crypto techniques to secure the AI models. Also use AI to detect the AI models, whether it is secure or not. Okay, so crypto for AI, we'll see. Now look at this. It's a panda. So I'm using, I think in yesterday's session, sir has very beautifully explained about adversarial examples. So I'm going to talk about DNN, the deep neural network. So here, basically what happens is I'm going to perturb it with some mess. So when I put the mess into that panda, after that, it is AI does not recognize it as panda, but it recognizes it as gibbon. So this is how it is done. Okay, so I put 1 pixel, it's called 1 pixel attack. So with 1 pixel, what I can do is I can make a ship look like a car. I can make a horse look like a frog. I can make a deer look like an airplane. Horse, see, look at the percentage. Horse look like a dog. Dog look like a cat, and bird look like a frog. So we call this as 1 pixel attack. So pixel selection done with evolutionary algorithms. So usually the perturbations can be for AI can be done. Okay. So how to make it more strong? So this can be made strong by using adversarial robustness. Okay. So this is very important. So 4 types: adversarial training, network pruning, random input transformation, and certified robustness. So these are the four methods you have to incorporate. Adversarial training means what? It's like you're preparing the students for the exam by giving them the toughest of the questions. So similarly, you train the data in such a way that even the worst of the images of that particular thing is fed to it. So whatever worst image is given, handwritten digit is also given to the AI. It tells you what it is. Okay, so whether it is blurry or whether it is distorted or whether it is turned, whatever it is. So we call this as adversarial training. But we don't give wrong data, the right data only, but we expose it to a lot of toughest of the toughest data. Then we have network pruning. So this is something like, imagine that you have a very messy table, and then you remove the unnecessary items so that it becomes more efficient. So it's called pruning. So pruning means removing. So we remove the unwanted stuffs from the network. So this way we do it. Third is random input transformation. It's like we scramble a security camera feed so that the thief's exact movement can't be detected. So how do we do that? We crop the image, we rotate the image, we add a noise. All these things we do to the AI. So this disrupts the crafted. Now, for example, for you only, if I give some image, if I twist and if I rotate it, flip it and give, when you look at it, it becomes difficult for you to identify what it is. So it makes it harder for the attacker to succeed. We call this as random input transformation. And the last one is certified robustness. This is like building a house with earthquake proof materials. Okay, so you're designing something, a DNN model, which is so robust that it guarantees adversarial perturbations. Okay, so this is how you are doing it. For instance, if you add a small noise to an image of a cat, the network is mathematically guaranteed to still classify it as a cat and not a dog, like how it has said over here, a dog as a cat or a cat as a dog. Not that way. You have to give it certified robustness. Okay. Now, the problem is either the attacker can poison the data, or the attacker can poison the model. So these are the problems. Okay, so model poisoning is going on right now. We call this as a poisoned global model. So we call this as a local model is there, and you use a poisoned global model so that you do model poisoning, or you poison the data. So over here you have a lot of data sources. So you poison the data so that again the problem happens. So this is how the cyber attacks are going on. So simple example I'll tell you. See, you're getting a call. So the person tells he's from Zomato, or he's from Amazon, or he's from Swiggy, and we believe that it is that person from there. Okay, we believe it. And then what happens is we give them all the detail, and then we figure out that, oh God, this guy was a cyber criminal. He's taken all my data, or he may be a criminal. He comes to your house and he stabs you. So if you are using a true caller, what will happen if the call is from Amazon or from Flipkart or from any delivery? It will be purple color. If it is from a bank, it will be green color. If it is from a cyber criminal or spam, it will be red color. So this is how it works. So we have to use a model which can detect. This is very, very important. So otherwise also we should not share the card number, CVV, OTP, MPIN. So I will talk about zero knowledge proof and similar things, how it works. So even you, without sharing your information, it gets to know that it is you, how most of the cryptocurrencies now are functioning. And also now they have started this attack where they say that in your parcel drugs was there, and we are calling from CBI, and we are going to arrest you, and you are under digital arrest, and they tell you that you're arrested. Now the problem with the digital arrest that is happening is because none of us know the IPC, CRPC and the Indian Evidence Act. We don't know. And recently we have got BNS, BNSS and BSA. Even this we don't know. Of course, IPC, CRPC and Indian Evidence Act is now obsolete. So none of us know. So if we knew that BNS, BNSS and BSA doesn't have something called as a digital arrest, we wouldn't be afraid whenever somebody contacted us and told that, you are being arrested and things like that. So this is the problem. And also look at this. The other day, what happened? Somebody sent me a follow request on Instagram and said, that she wants to be in touch with me. I said, "ठीक है," because I keep getting follow requests, so I accepted it, and now my profile is open profile only, so there is no question of sending a request. Anybody wants, they can just follow by searching Dr. Anand Prabhu Gurpur. That's all. But I'm talking about that time. So then what happened is. I asked her, "What's your name?" So she said, her name is Aishwarya. Then I said, "Okay, where are you from?" So she said, "I'm from Bangalore." I said, "How old are you?" So she's like, "No, you should not ask a girl her age. Don't you know that?" I said, "I didn't know that." And then I asked, what's your email address? So she said, "My email address is aishwarya1993 at gmail.com." So I thanked God for doing my engineering, because I know 2024 minus 93 is how much? I'm talking about 24. Of course, it's 25 now. So then I asked her, "Tell me your exact address where your house is." She said, "No, my father told online predators are there. You should not give your address and other confidential data to your people whom you meet online." I said, "Oh, I wish every girl gets a father like yours." And then I asked her, "Did your father say not to share selfies?" So that she said, "No, no, no. My father said didn't say about that." If I asked, "Where are you right now?" So she said, "I'm at home." I said, "Can you send me a selfie?" She said, "For sure." And she clicked a selfie like something like this, and she sent it to me. What I did is I went to this website called as pic2map.com, and I uploaded that pic. And when I uploaded that pic, I got the exact GPS location of where our house is. Okay, the exact location, including I got metadata. So I want to tell you about metadata. So what is metadata? Data about data. So the data in this case was the image. Okay, and the metadata here is data about data. For example, which camera was used, whether flash was on, whether they used any tool for enhancing the picture, what was the focal length, what was the ISO, what was the speed, aperture settings. All these data I can get. So we call this as metadata. And in metadata, another data that is always there is called GPS information. So that is how we get the location. So all of you can also do it. You can just take your phones, you can take a picture of yourself, upload it on pic2map.com, and it'll tell you where the photo was taken and also the other details as well. So this is how it is working. Okay, so I always tell people, make sure that whenever you're sending data, you don't send the metadata with it. Just send the data. So how to ensure that the metadata is not sent? So when you're sending the data, make sure that in iPhone, you when you're sending, go to options. There is an option called location of data off. Switch it off and then you send it. Okay, I'll just remove this. Yeah, you can see a location of data off and you just send it. Similarly, when you're using Android also, you can just go to privacy protection. There you can do location of data off, other properties like aperture, shutter speed and everything, and then you can send. So this way, you're not sending the metadata along with the photo. Otherwise, it's very dangerous, because you're uploading a photo on a website, and somebody can just download it, and they get all the data about you. The other day, what somebody did is she had posted on her Facebook, "Next 3 days, go Goa gone," and then in fact her house was robbed. It was robbed by somebody, and then the neighbors heard the noise, so they called the police, and the cops came. And this really happened in Hyderabad. You can just Google about it. And then when the cops asked him, like, "Who are you?" He said, "I'm a thief." They said, "What are you doing here?" He said, "I've come here to rob." "Then why are you drinking beer and chilling?" So he said, "Because she told the next 3 days she's going to be in Goa. I thought, let me just chill here." So this metadata is the problem, and the data that we share is the problem. So all this data is taken by the AI. Okay, so AI, what it does is there are basically different types, like two types. One is based on capabilities, another one is based on functionality. So based on capability is narrow AI, so which we are right now in. Some people say general AI, but we are still in narrow AI, because a lot more that can be done. Then general AI and super AI. Similarly, based on functionalities, you have reactive machines, you have limit memory, you have theory of mind, and you have self-aware AI. So what it is? So reactive is spam filters, chatbots. So most of the websites that you visit and you see a chatbot there, you think that you're talking to somebody. No, it is all AI. Then recommendation engines from Spotify, Netflix. So basically what happens is I call this as a market basket analysis. So whenever you go to a supermarket to buy bread, so definitely along with bread, you will be buying jam or butter. Okay, so similarly, whenever you buy coffee powder, definitely you'll be buying milk with it. Okay, that's how it works. So we call this market basket analysis. So Amazon and everything works like that. So whenever you buy a product, it tells you these are the products you may be interested in. Whenever you listen to a music, they say these are the songs you may be interested in. These are the videos you may be interested in. Now, how do they know that? They know it because of the reactive AI. Then you have limited memory, where Gen AI, like ChatGPT, self-driving cars, virtual assistants, so limited memory. So it does whatever within its capability. Then you have theory of mind. So it understands the needs of other intelligent, so this is the next level. Then self-aware. So you want to have human-like intelligent and self-awareness. I think when this strong AI happens, we are all gone. So this is the last way of AI reaching. Now look at this. So this is one image where nobody is there, but there somebody comes. Okay, so we are detecting the person who has come there. So similarly, we call this as intrusion detection. So earlier, what used to happen for intrusion detection, we used to have static analysis. So signatures were there, and those signatures were put in a database. So whenever a file came, we mapped it with those signatures from the database. If that signature found, then intrusion. So this is how it is. So either it is intrusion detection or intrusion prevention. But now it is not like that. So now what it does is whenever a file comes, so it does a feature extraction. So once the feature extraction is done using AI model, it figures out whether that feature is malicious or not. If it is malicious, it just blocks it. If it is not, it is. So this is how it has evolved. IDS and IPS. IDS is intrusion detection system and IPS is intrusion prevention system. So intrusion prevention is like a firewall. It prevents the intruder from entering into your house. But how much ever you prevent, it is like Dettol ad, 99.999, that 0001 possible. So if that has already come into your system, you need to understand where it is in your system. We call this as intrusion detection. Okay, so intrusion detection is after the attack. We call this as reactive. Intrusion prevention is before the attack can happen. We call this as proactive. Then what we can also do is we have data sets. Okay, so from the data sets, we do the pre-processing and then we learn and then we detect. So this is how AI based IDS works. Okay, so from the data sets, feature extraction, learn, and then report. So this is how it is done. So you can see over here. So AI in cybersecurity, it gives us speedier detection, network protection, anti-phishing measures, dependable authentication, behavior analysis, and defending the cyber crimes. But we are using this for prevention, but cyber criminals are using this for attacking. Okay, so there is a beautiful website which is called as WormGPT. So you can go to WormGPT. It's similar to ChatGPT. So you go there and you can tell, I want you to write one virus. I'm giving you a general term, okay, where whenever I send it to somebody and they click on the link, it has to download in their device, and their front camera should be on whenever I remotely press the button. So and then most of you take your phones to the bedroom, bathroom, and changing rooms. And then the best part about the phone is no matter you keep the phone like this or like this, the camera is always on the top. So that's why that boy had told those two girls when they went for coffee that Anand Prabhu said, don't take phones to the bedroom, changing room, and bathroom. So it's because of that, because it can be used for snooping on you. Okay, so this is one. And risks and challenges of AI in cybersecurity. So the problem is if you use AI, now you must have seen the other day somebody asked me for a notes. I went to ChatGPT and I took something, and then it was all wrong. So misinterpretation. So this can happen. So we have to again re-verify, because AI does not have its own head. So whatever data set is there, from that only it gives. And now most of the data that is there in the internet is synthetic data, which means data generated by AI. So anybody asks you to write a blog post, you go to ChatGPT and you do it. So basically what used to happen, near when the COVID and all was there, I used to ask my students write assignments and come. So they used to go to ChatGPT and write. And then I was once when I saw the assignment only, I figured out something wrong here, because I don't think so. I am such a good teacher that my students can write such fantastic assignments and come. Then I figured out by using a website called CopyLeaks. It's like that Turnitin, your plagiarism detection. Similarly, CopyLeak website will tell you whether AI was used or not for generating that content. So the website told me that this is about 99% Gemini content, and some different content, LLM contents it was telling me. Then I was very upset. I went to the class and I went shouted at everybody. I told them, shameless people, how could you do that? And then they said, no, sir, promise we'll not use AI anymore. The next day they submitted assignment. I put it on something like CopyLeaks only, and then I figured out that nobody has used AI. So they've written the assignments all by themselves, and I was very proud of them. Then I figured out there's a website which is called as Right Human, or Humanizer. So what it does is it converts the AI type content into human-like content, like how your Turnitin tells you can use article spin rotator. So whenever there is a plagiarist content, you can use article spin rotator, so that certain words it will shift from here to there, and then your plagiarism becomes 0%. So this is how it is done. Of course, then there is cyber security skill gap. Then regulatory issues are there. AI can be biased. Because many people, the blacks, have figured out already. So whenever you give an image to them with 10 white men and 1 black man and ask who is the thief in this, it would always tell the black man is the thief. Large data requirements and data unavailability. So because the data is unavailable, we are feeding it with synthetic data, and the synthetic data is giving a lot of issues. So another type of an attack that is usually happening is you're going to buy a product, you're buying a lipstick, or you're going on a website like Wikipedia. So you can just scan this, both the QR codes. See, both look same. In both the cases, both look same. You can see here also it's wikipedia.org, here also it's Wikipedia, but the QR codes are different. That's because the A that I've used here is a Cyrillic A. We call this as a IDN homograph attack. Okay, wherein when you open the first link, the actual Wikipedia opens, but when you open the second link, you will see a site like this. So this is a Cyrillic type of an attack. So such AI-based phishing attacks and IDN-based attacks, we call this internationalized domain name. So you know that whenever you are using a keypad on your phone and keyboard on your phone, and you long press on the vowels A, E, I, O, U, you see those different kind of alphabets coming. They're not Latin, they're Cyrillic. And unfortunately, domain names could be purchased in Latin as well as in Cyrillic. So these are all Cyrillic domain names that are there. So unless you have something like NoFish, which will tell you that the website that you are visiting is not legitimate, it is fishy, then you figure out that, okay, so this is dangerous. Okay, so that is one thing we need to do. And you need to also understand, you may visit a website like deviceinfo.me when you take your phone, and when you open that website knows how much of battery percentage is also there, whether your Bluetooth is on, all these things it can tell you. And in fact, a survey was done the other day where 2 phones were taken. One was Android and one was iOS. And then they booked a cab using the same app from the same location to the same location, like a similar location. And then they figured out that the charging on the phone the other phone, I don't want to tell you which brand, on the other phone, it was more expensive than the Android phone. Why? Because they knew that if you have bought that phone, that means you have money probably, and they charge you a premium. So how did they know that it is that phone? So that is because whenever you visit a website, you're giving out your fingerprints. So this is how it works. So you can have a look at it. So we call this website as device info. In fact, it also knows your battery percentage. So whenever you're booking an app, cab from the app, you need to understand if the battery percentage is low, they will charge you higher, because they know at any cost before the battery switches off, you have to catch a cab and then charge your phone. So you're ready to pay any amount once to get into the cab. So these are the different AI methods that these bad methods actually these companies are resorting to in order to make more money. And also they're using invisible trackers. So I send an email to you and you tell, I ask you, yaki reply madila, why have you not replied? So you say, no, I have not opened it, but I know that you opened because already tracker is there. And also I get to know to how many people you have forwarded that mail also. Okay, so it will tell me to how many people. In fact, one of the MPs had to lose her seat itself because her email was being opened by somebody outside India. So this is how it works. So you can use this tool called as coveryourtracks.eff.org, and there you can do test your browser. So when you test it, it tells you how good your browser is, whether it is blocking these tracking ads, whether it is blocking these invisible trackers, whether it is preventing you from the protecting you from the fingerprinting or not. Because my guru Sanjay Sahai sir used to always tell, hacking is the new normal. So I used to ask sir, what does it mean? So he used to tell me, Anant, out of the 100 systems, 95 know that they're hacked, 5 don't know that they're hacked. So this is the reality. And this is a wonderful device that is there in the market right now called as Flipper Zero, which is used to hack almost anything. So what they are recently doing is whenever a car is parked in an open area, you take your remote and you that is keyless car or whichever it is, you have that wireless remote. So you just press the lock, unlock. So it captures that signal. And when you go, they again replay it so that your car is unlocked, or your car is not at all locked because they break that signal before that signal reaches your car itself. And then they open the door, and usually in your car, your laptop and your valuables will be there. They take it and go even without breaking the glass. So this is how the attacks have now evolved. Okay, so now they've started using quantum secure cryptography, because earlier, see, there was no end-to-end level 0. Then came level 1, where WhatsApp and all that, end-to-end encryption. So these are all classical cryptography. Now we are coming to a post-quantum cryptography, where in Signal, I always tell you Signal. That time I showed that image also to you, safe, safer, safest, and in that, because Signal uses PQC, key establishment. So it is a military grade encryption. Then PQC, which is post-quantum cryptography establishment, plus ongoing PQC reking. The latest algorithms is used in iMessage with PQ3. Okay, so it's like and then you in the future it will be like PQC establishment plus ongoing plus authentication also. So this will be even more robust. So you know that they use a technique which is called as differential privacy now. So two techniques are used to identify it is you even without taking out more information about you. One is called differential privacy. Other one, anyone? It's called zero key. So one is zero knowledge proofs. Okay, so one is differential privacy, another one is zero knowledge proof, ZKP. Okay, so basically what's happening is we are using identity access and management with AI. So cyber security with AI. So once that is done, we can get a better, robust understanding of the entire gamut of things. So AI works using machine learning, deep learning, computer vision, natural language processing, deep neural networks, and cognitive computing. So we use all of these for securing our cyber security, and that we give it as a service now, similar to platform as a service, software as a service, infrastructure as a service. Now we are giving AI as a service, which is artificial intelligence as a service. And then I told you about zero knowledge proof, and then there is differential privacy. So we prove the knowledge without revealing information. So without you telling more about you, I know that it is you and I authenticate you. So this is how it is done. So, and now we also use encryption in the URLs also. You can see here the URLs that are used in the dark web. We know that the internet comprises of 3 layers: surface web, deep web, and the dark web. So the dark web so there are about 1,500 top level domains, TLDs, like .com, .net, .co, .in, .info, .org, like that. But the domain that is used specifically for the dark web is called as the .onion. So you can see those domains, they're very long with the .onion extension. So the challenges in using the traditional crypto algorithms in IoT is resource constraints, then communication overheads, very slow latency, and the security versus performance trade-off. So the best methods of protecting your data is to encrypt it, improve your network security, implement proper access controls for identification and authorization, back up your data, and improve your physical security. So remember, forwarding a message is equal to accepting the message and endorsing the message. And one important thing which I want to tell all of you is your head is weighing 4 kgs, the strain on the neck when it is at 0 degree. But as you bend your head with every 15 degrees, the strain on the neck increases. And for 60-degree bend, it is 27 kilos. So a lot of people are having neck pain now because they keep using their phones like this. Always, for 20 minutes of screen time, for 20 seconds, look 20 feet away. Never look at the screen when it is dark, and wear these blue cut lens, which will block those harmful blue rays, which can harm your eyes. I am Dr. Anant Prabhu Gurpur. If you like the session, you're most welcome to stay in touch with me. So that's my contact details. And I'm on Facebook as well as on Instagram. So if you liked my session, I would request you to please comment Jai Hind in the comment section, so that I know that I was of service to you. And the PPT slides, yeah, sure. I'll give it, share all the session recordings. Yeah, okay. So I'm getting the comments. I'm very, very grateful. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks. Thank you, Manjunath ji and Naveen ji and everybody for bringing me here. My obeisances to Nirmalanand Swamiji as well. So thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. Jai Shri Gurudev. We know Dr. Anant Prabhu sir is the
Thank you, sir.
most busiest person. Hello, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, you are the most busiest person, sir. As I know, on behalf of our management, I would like to say big thanks to you for accepting our request and spending your most valuable time with all our participants to enhance their knowledge on this given topic. Definitely, sir. The insights what you have given about the AI and cryptography and even cyber security, it is really very good, and right now it's very much required. It's a topic is in demand, sir, actually. And this is the second time I am listening your talk. I'm very happy. Once again, big thanks to you, sir.
Thank you.
Definitely, we will once again we will invite you to our campus, sir.
Sure, for sure,
So,
sir. My pleasure. And I would also want to thank Kiran ji, because Kiran Kumar sir has been so nicely coordinating along with my dear friend Dr. Manjunath sir also. So I'm very grateful to both of you. I'm so sorry if I was unable to deliver beyond whatever expectations you had, but please forgive me for that. But thank you very much. Yeah.
no, sir. Almost you have taken all the topics what you want to discuss. But definitely, sir, we want to meet you once again in our campus. We'll invite you for the physical. Okay, thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I've shared my contact details once again, so people want to be in touch. Most welcome. Thank you. Jai Hind. Can I leave, sir?
Participants, can anybody is having any
but-
questions? If anybody is having any
Shrey, is there
questions,
any
please
questions
post in the
there
chat box.
If no questions, sir, yes, sir, please, sir, you can leave the meetings now, sir.
Right.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yes, Dr. Shreyari, for the next session.
Sir, we'll start, sir. Another 5 minutes, we'll start, sir.
Okay, okay. Is the resource person has joined the meeting?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir is joined already, sir.
Okay, Suman,
Okay.
sir. Okay.
Another 5 minutes, sir.
Okay.
So it is my honor and privilege to introduce our speaker, Mr. Sumant Biam. Sir is having over 13 years of experience. Sir is an AI software validation engineer specializing in mobile and laptop designs. He is a deep expertise in embedded automation and validation profiles. Throughout his career, he has held key roles including service as a tech lead for imaging and audio domains, where he had led efforts to debug customer issues and ensure optimal product performance. In addition to his hands-on technical work, Sun has contributed to the industry by submitting papers and publications, sharing valuable insights and research. He holds a bachelor degree in computer science and postgraduate degree in embedded systems, providing a strong foundation for his technical achievements. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you. Jai Shri
So I
Gurudev.
request to take over the session, sir.
Sure.
Thank you, sir.
Let me know if my screen is visible and just put it on presenting mode.
Yes, sir. It's visible, sir.
Thank you. So thank you, everyone. Thanks for joining. Myself, Sumant BM, and I'll be talking today on integration of AI and blockchain. Going on to the agenda. Today we have an introduction on history of blockchain, of what brings blockchain into our real world example. Then followed by AI introduction with the real world implementations, the current market trend of AI requirements and the scope as we have today. Third pointer I have is on our agenda today, in need of AI integration with blockchain. Fourth, followed by is industry implementation scope of AI and AI integration with blockchain and some of the examples which have been successfully implemented in real world scenarios on AI integration with blockchain. Going down to industry introduction of blockchain, the history starts with a description of blockchain in 1991 by Stuart Haber and W. Scott. Their keen interest on designing blockchain or introducing blockchain was timestamping digital documents. They were keen looking for timestamping documents for privacy and generation maintenance of documents. This was an innovation area where they wanted to evolve in the field of shared data communication. Later, in 2004, Hal Finney, an active cryptographic expert, tried another additive reusable proof of work logic into blockchain, which led to the evolution of expandable and shareable blockchain logic. This was reusable as a non-exchangeable proof for the work token generated or work token completion. This also had a responsive measurement with the RSA as a return acknowledgement. So both together made a very good achievement in 2004 and was introduced into one particular focus of implementations, is where it started with Bitcoin or cryptocurrency. Later in 2008, there was a wide need for implementation of blockchain for other requirements, not limiting it to cryptocurrency or one focused area of interest. This is where we have Satoshi N, who was continuously working, and he tried to introduce a logic where we can add blockchains with new nodes without the requirement of cumbersome signature validation and trust verification by trusted parties. This made a very good expansion logic, giving out an expansion opportunity for introducing blockchains in multi-industry level implementations. It can start from cryptocurrency, financial transactions, health records, and many more. I'll come to the details or examples when I walk through next foils. Next part is coming to what is blockchain and how does it look. This is a basic image of how the block of each blockchain looks. A link of all these blocks is called a blockchain, as we know. Major examples is major sections of the blockchain is the header block on the body. The header block consists of 4 subsections: hash, nonce, timestamp, and Merkle root. Coming out to each section of the header section, hash. The hash, as the name represents, it stays as a very important node for link maintenance. This is similar to what we have in linked layers or any other programming structures. A hash key maintains the link information of the previous node or the connected node on the blockchain. Any misconception or any transaction breakage between a hash between two nodes would make the link go in toss. The next section is the nonce. This is a dynamic value which keeps changing on every transaction. The size of a nonce is 2 byte and a 32-bit number, but it is uniquely generated at every transaction and is dynamically updated for each reference node. Timestamp, as it explains, is the time interval or the time transaction details of the every transaction on a node. Coming down to Merkle root is, it's like a master set or a metadata of all the transactions which we have gone through in a block. So it can be also called as a superset of all the hash transactions where it is encrypted and saved. If we take an example that we have 10 transactions done on a blockchain, all the reference transactions, even if this is not in detail, it will be encrypted in a secure format, giving out tokenization information on each transaction in a Merkle root. The last and the second major section of the block is the body section, which contains the actual body of the data encrypted and the transaction information. This is on the introduction of a block in each blockchain. So what brings blockchain in our algorithm or our environment of industry and wide implementations? If you see the image here, every block is interconnected. Every evolving technology is interconnected. Take an example of blockchain connection with Bitcoin, Ethereum, audit, artificial intelligence, machine learning, to the new corner of 3D printing. Everywhere blockchain plays a role in connecting data between nodes. We initially spoke about Bitcoin. Then it's a known variety of or issues of cryptocurrency. So it started with one set of view of use case, and then appeared on a wider application with multi targeted use case scenarios, which is called an Open Ethereum or W Ethereum, and there are multiple flavors of it. Then it came out the cloud computing, cyber security, blockchain with machine learning, AI, network printing. Even 3D printing today has a lot in implementations, a lot of scope for integration with blockchain, with the pipeline of data storing. So everywhere, as you see, blockchain plays a crucial role, or it has a very relative information data saving and upscaled and capabilities. Why blockchain when it has all these features? Is one or two examples of blockchain features can be digitally distributed data nodes, where other nodes can be encrypted on a centralized way. Blockchain has a distributed environment structure, and cryptographically signed transactions are always maintained with the better and the best encryption logics. This brings the choose for blockchain everywhere. What makes blockchain so confident and reliable? The method, it is structured, secured, and transparent. Take any example of a cryptocurrency. I think it is structured. Every transaction in the blockchain is linked to every alternate or the nearest node without any chance of breakage. Even there are chances of, even if case there are chances of any break or a loss of data, the network is so well developed, it gets repaired and updated with the correct information autonomously within the span of time. But I'll come down to that point again on the next foils. Secured. Why secured? All blocks are interconnected, and any modifications on the node will have to make modifications in the related in nodes as well. So if someone wants to tamper one node, it would not be sufficing for him to get into and make changes. All the information captured in all the related nodes will have to be modified for a successful tampering of data. This makes very difficult for him to spend time on this hack or break into the network, making it more secure. Transparent. As we see, blockchains are not on a centralized network; they are on a distributed data sharing technology, making copies of all the data and different nodes or the related nodes. And the data copied on all nodes are transparent and flexible for usage from any node which it is working on the related network. Next one is an example flow of how the blockchain or blockchain upliftment or a scale works with example to cryptocurrency transaction. Taking an example of a cryptocurrency here with authentication from an end user or authenticated user. Once this is authenticated, every new transaction will come up with a new block created, which it will all have the header section and the body section of it with the details of the node. Any new block is called a genesis block and is termed as a starting block. These blocks will be communicated to the network it is involved or it is trying to approach with a new introduction of hash key saying, I am appearing here with a new request. Let me know if I can authenticate and join your network. The systems on network or the nodes on network would authenticate it with the hash key, the timestamp, and other nonce and information it is having to see if it's really a G9 node which is coming from from authenticated and a legitimate request, and then authenticates it to be added into the local link alone. Once this transaction of approval of addition of the new node into local link is gone through, the transactions are processed for going on. The completion of the transaction doesn't stop here and addition of the new node. Once this new node is added into the link, it would have to update and give an information to the wider network node saying, yes, I am in and I have a new node coming up with this change listed. Once this new node is added into the network, all the subsequent images of the node details will be updated in each node information. This would make it vulnerable for any access or any breach into one node. This is where the transaction finally completes to a node addition or a blockchain addition. The next section comes about implementation of considerations and advantages. Why should we consider implementing blockchain, and what environment should we choose? What is a reliable environment, and what should be heavy lifting or a non-supportive consideration for a blockchain implementation? Any participants which has any scenario which has many participant distributed environments are a third-party third-party user involvement is a easy go for blockchain implementation. Reason: many participants is always a problem for authenticating, and always across around the clock is a cumbersome and a challenging scenario. Distributed participants, geolocation distributed participants is again not possible for authenticating on a local network, always stands as a challenge and is prone to any data breach, vulnerability, or attack. there are conditions where interactions do happen between a trusted network and a third party. These transactions cannot be authenticated at every level for when the involvement of third party lies in this environment. So, and because they can go along with interaction with a trusted environment and a third party. Any user who is involved with a third party can always shake hands with him and try to a data breach. So to avoid all such manual interventions, third-party information leakage, and any chance of bad user experience, we always suggest to have blockchains with these scenarios. This would improve the authentication and also privacy with trust on the network and the use of blockchain environment. There are some examples of blockchain where we can transaction in nature, that is digital assets information between parties. Any digital asset information transactions can be easily a scope of interest for hackers, any private breach or any snifing intentions. So this brings the interest of blockchain integration and in development. Then comes cryptographically secure system ownership. Why give a chance to anyone to own a system? Why don't we encrypt it? It's like proactive then become reactive. So why give a chance and then take actions? Why don't we be more proactive and then keep the system healthy and risk-free? This is one reason where we bring in cryptographically secured blockchain environment. Next is a scenario where we can reduce and eliminate manual efforts. As I spoke earlier, any breach of data or any breakage in the network node or any conditions of a crash will be recovered easily without any interruptions with the user, because all the nodes, as I mentioned, are interconnected with the other node in the complete mesh. And if a data is lost on one node, the replication is always there on the other nodes of the network, which would easily validate the change, authenticate which node is having the wrong information, and make sure it is always updated with the right information. This brings in the confidence of the user for blockchain evaluation. Need for full provenance of digital assets and full transaction history. This is where the transparency of blockchain comes to play as a very important aspect as well. And take an example, any scenario, any environment, as long as you have transparency of the process, everyone would be interested and everyone would be reliable to have it in our requirement. So transparency is our one of the best requirements and the user-friendly requirement. So that adds an advantage for introduction to blockchain. Some use cases where I can correlate blockchain with real-world examples, starting with cryptocurrency, the Bitcoin or any Bitcoin or a hash key or a hash currency is where we all know about the finance section. Then wire transfer. Today, we know that any wire transfers or any international transfer used to take a day for city to city, then a week for within intercity, and if it was international transfers, you'll have to wait for at least 1 week or 10 days. Today, even international transfers would go up in seconds or in a day. How is that possible? All this information is being secured by evolution of blockchain networks. How does it happen? Blockchains today maintain information of all the user financial credits on a network, centralized network. It can be your local bank or a international bank. They all have internet networks transacting statements of all user information. These do send information requests of a wire transaction from an application requester to the authenticator and then the recipient within seconds. The next set of transactions of one day is all for your financial profit loss gains and statement verifications. But wire transfer can be done within seconds for even with international locations, geolocations. Another example of blockchain is in finance is KYC. KYC, all know, and we do it every day or every year. This is an authentication where everyone would be reliable, because doing a wrong KYC on a bank statement is again very risky. You may lose all your cash if KYC is done to a wrong phone number or a wrong mobile number. So doing a right KYC with the right infrastructure is a requirement. So blockchain plays a very important role in authenticating each node of a block and with right encryption logics, and including right authentication user. Smart contracts. Smart contracts is an example every day we see. People today see vending machines in and out at every public places. Probably it is your bus station, metro station, any mall you go, you see vending machines. Anyone would have thought of how would the vending machines came into the evolution? How does it really work? How the backend do? And every time you see, and the more popular places which people walk around, the vending machines are all updated to the full. There are places where vending machines don't are not updated to the full of stock because of probably lack of demand, no usage or so. But popular places where you see people walk everyday malls or metro stations, they are all updated. The back end of having these vending machines updated every day in day out is by blockchain inventory stock management. How does it happen? Every time a user goes and punches in for a sellout or from product on a vending machine, the blockchain updates the node with what has been dispensed, what item. If you have 10 items in the vending machine, what item has been dispensed, what is it left with, what is the number. And it also not only this in stock and in and out information, it also gives you an information of how frequent the product has been dispensed. If the product has been dispensed one in a week, blockchain keeps the tag of that in flow also. If it is 2 in a day, then it is a frequent selling product. Based on this information, blockchains keep updating onto the vendor or the third party vendor who maintains it. Usually here is an example where two parts come into example: blockchain authenticated user and a third party vendor. Vending machine is being probably set up by a authentic manufacturer, and a person who maintains the products in the blockchain is a third party vendor. So authentication of a manufacturer and a third party vendor is where blockchain comes into picture again. And there is a tokenization for this to authenticate how many products has been refilled by the third party vendor at every refill cycle. And the transactions for the product refilled will be paid on to the third party vendor as per the cycle. Next example is on online music tracking. People post online music samples on internet, social media, and so. And everyone know the way it becomes popular, the number of hits, likes, and views. This tracking also has another information which calls in digitalized information tracking. As Dr. Anant Prabhu mentioned, the details of every content or every video or every photo is saved in their product, which is uploaded. Any information of this video, online music video or music video, photo, or any conversation is authenticated from where it is coming from. And every time it is downloaded, it is accessed, and it is played on the web or through on the web. It is also authenticated to check who's accessing it. Is it a real user or is it a fake ID? All this information is being authenticated and tracked for security and privacy measures. This is where blockchains do play a backend role and a very crucial and a precise role in capturing information. So smart contracts is one example of blockchain evolution. The next section or the next example scenario is IoT. IoT or Internet of Things. Today, everyone knows what is IoT, Internet of Things, how they are reconnected or how they are interconnected. Take an example of smart city tracking. Today, every city is planned to be a smart city, and new setups have been introduced. So, Wi-Fi towers are put up, smart signal traffic signals are introduced, and pedestrian walkthrough are introduced, and other many features are put in places where you walk around. If you see this, how are they managed? People may be using free Wi-Fi locations which is provided by government or smart city infrastructure. But in returns, they are also capturing your information of how many users are being using the system facility and the density of the user and the most frequent usage scenarios, probably which sites are being used, what information has been searched for. All this information is captured through the blockchain environment for their data upscalement. And taking an example of tracking user pedestrian walking signal. Every time pedestrian clicks the smart city app or smart city location, it calls out which location has been more frequently accessed for a pedestrian walking smart access. Based on that, it increases the time duration of the pedestrian walkthrough on off, probably green to red and red to green. So based on this, it takes a feedback from the frequency of the usage and then updates itself for the duration. This is an example of smart city automation tracking and data acquisition through blockchains. Autonomous device management. Everyone would have heard about the famous technology in all automotive environment today, which is recently being more popular, the ADAS and ADS level 1, level 2. All these are based out of autonomous device management, internally working on blockchain and other logics. Why autonomous device management here and blockchain? This makes autonomous device management precise and more responsive more efficient in responsiveness with very little latency or delay in responding to the situation. That's where autonomous device management makes perfection. If there's an example of a person walking in front of an automated device car, and the car stops after 5 seconds instead of stopping on first second, think what would have gone, and it would be in scrap. So the precision is in automation device management is the need. The next scenario is about personal identity, healthcare, and government. Every user information is captured in the block of chain. Everyone's digital identity or the basic digital Aadhaar is an example of a blockchain digital identity network. Yeah, the government keeps record of your Aadhaar, your health records, and even your financial statements. This network is related and maintained with blockchain correlating to every node of the user information. Take if you take an example of a developed or a country like US or so, even information with what you have purchased yesterday in a grocery store is stayed in your information database. So that's the level of blockchain development and improvements of data is done today. Next topic or the scenario is on the logistics. Inventory tracking, as I mentioned in smart contracts as well. This is a tracking of your in and out inventory on an end-to-end movement in a day-to-day job without the involvement of any manual intervention. One example I can give today is FedEx. FedEx is a company which has implemented inventory management track end to end without a manual intervention. If any stage of the shipment or from product shipment, from receiving it at the vendor location or the agent location to the dispatch of the product to the local uh, 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 dispatch vehicle, is all done from with automation end-to-end blockchain technology. There is no user intervention or a user to scan the device, sort it out, and labeling it. No intervention. All of them is done automated with the use of blockchain and automated networks. Media now, as we see, there are different content types. There is child content, adult content, and so data content can be restricted to devices as well. If you are playing net content OTT or on the top content on a handheld device, the content showed would be different. And if you're playing it on a local TV, the content showed will vary because of the privacy settings. This blockchain information is updated based on the information of the device you are playing and the settings it has been authenticated with. This plays a important role in maintaining and keeping the content appropriate. In the media, we also have another example of blockchain management that's on ad monitoring. What does ad monitoring do? Ad monitoring is a scenario where you publish some ads and wait for responses. Based on the response for the ads you publish, there is a need for improvement of the strategy. Probably if the ad you have published makes a good hit, you need to reduce the strategy of making it lower prominent and on that particular channel, and contribute and try to concentrate on a different channel where it is more needed. So, or if the ad advertisement what you have done is not making much response, you'll have to change the ad content either, or the strategy of what you are pushing out through the ad. This strategic analysis and conceptualization of data and the ad content is also done by blockchain and data collection. Next foil is on blockchain limitations and some misconceptions. Today, as I walk, I try to pick very few and some common misconceptions which is being talked about in blockchain limitations. Blockchains, as they grow, they become big in size because of each node transaction is, as each node is added, the size of a block becomes bigger and bigger. And if it's a distributed blockchain and with a geological location, it becomes bit bulkier than a centralized. So what happens if there are two chains which is trying to access a common new node at the same instance of time? Any one of them will have to have a hit and the other would naturally miss. Any transactions on the chain which has missed the accessing of the new node will either have to merge the details of its changes into the other chain or wait in a waiting pool for the chain which has already acquired access to finish its transaction and release the control. This adds an overhead on the timing and would be challenging in a real world scenarios for conditions like autonomous development or financial transactions and healthcare scenarios. To overcome this, there is a concept called immutability, where immutability helps in saving the data which is missed the chain and making sure it is reconsidered into the next transaction available node without the data getting lost, making it more reliable and efficient. This is one overcome which has been evolved and in use. The next misconception I would like to talk about is governing or maintaining a blockchain. There are two methods of governing and maintaining blockchain: permission blockchains or permissionless blockchains. What then, as the name explains, permission blockchains are usually owned or managed by a consortium or a team of members or a owner with an organization. These blockchains are controlled within a standardized format, which maintain and keep the governance in good condition. Major scenarios of permission blockchains are any of our mm, public blockchains or government blockchains, which are more reliable and should be flexible for real world applications. Permissionless blockchains, on the other hand, are smaller blockchains as compared to permission blockchains, which are usually maintained by network users or a group of publishing node users or software developers. These are usually smaller in size and are not are dynamic or fast and robust in their application as compared to permission blockchains. With this information on blockchain and advantages and some of the known limitations, let's move into what is AI, introduction of AI, and the evolution concept of AI. What AI, artificial intelligence, as said, is an ability of a machine to do something that typically humans can do. It's a copy of training. It's a copy or a training your baby. A new toddler you have at home tries to pick up a ball or a bat. If you see yourself, you are very easy and we can pick a ball or a bat without the presence of mind. But a toddler is still he or she tries to catch hold of the ball, close the fingers, then grip onto it, and then finally pick it up. This section of the stage by stage activity the toddler is doing is training it himself or herself in picking up a bat and ball. The similar instance of training ability of processing images or processing imaging or data is AI training. Now, AI is again as a master set, and it consists of machine learning and deep learning and other subsection. Coming to machine learning is a subset of AI, and it majorly deals with learning with inputs and data terms. Because deep learning again is a focused area of machine learning, where it is focused to a particular area of task or area of expertise. So training a deep learning logic to the perfection of the area is more competent or more time taken as compared to a general machine learning environment. So today we have four, as I say, four major or more trending AI model training environments. The first one stands as Gen AI or the generative AI. Then is the edge computing, followed by deep learning and multimodal AI. Generative AI. This is the boom today, and probably Sir will be speaking about Gen AI in the next sessions. I'll try to capture only information on the end-to-end basic information on end-to-end use cases, which we can correlate on Gen AI. Today, training based on new input images, patterns, and text data. Example of training a model with text data is speech to text, which is today seen in Microsoft applications as Copilot. Anything you talk on a web conversation, anything I am talking on a web conversation will be printed out onto your OneNote or a Copilot window with clear abbreviations, indentations, and formatting. This is the level of AI generative AI efficiency. It even summarizes of what we spoke about in this session and give you a 5-line summary of what we discussed. That's the expertise what we see. Next example is image generation. Anyone would have tried Stable Diffusion on a web open source web link. Image generation is you example of uh, a person wearing astronaut suit and riding horse on Mars. It would generate you an image with a prominent and effective background effects and all these things. You can even see Earth on the background at a distant location. This is the efficiency of image generation with text. Everyone can try this. It is an open source link, and you can try this on your web. And this is again a generative AI models which are trained today. I don't call it we just train today. We are continuing to train all AI models even today. There is a lot of scope for training AI models, and it continues as the data increases. Video generation is an example. We have an end-to-end application called Google AI Video Generator, which edits your video based on the inputs and or your earlier scenario and user requirement. So that's an example. And then we have automated test environments. Industries today, we have automated test environments. Probably we keep running validation or test environments on cycle to cycle and every 15-day, 1 month cycle to cycle period. And taking a scenario where we don't have we have 50 test cases, and 5 test cases out of the 50 are always passed in the past 3-4 cycles. The next 6th cycle, what automated AI does is it skips the first 5 test cases to in the next cycle, saying it is very less responsive or very less yielding, failure yielding, and only push that out into bi-weekly or on the skip level execution. This is how AI today is monitoring even the test suite environment to optimize and make the validation scope efficient. Code generation, common scenario, ChatGPT is everyone known. And bug fixing on the fly. Bug fixing is an example where you have some bug reported by a customer or some IT environment, and the AI involvement is so evolved that it checks the history of correlated similar keywords in the bug history. If there is probably I have a bug coming up from Stable Diffusion. And our AI tool looks into all the list of issues which are related to Stable Diffusion by picking the word Stable Diffusion, and looks into the content of the fix details where the fix is implemented in the previous scenarios, and tries to grab that information and correlate if the same fix will be helpful in pushing out to the recently reported bug. It has gone to that level today, which is very surprising to everyone. Next is edge computing. Edge computing is more focused on bandwidth optimization and latency reduction. This is a type of distributed computing network where people can target more on finance, market trends, and geolocation updates, Google Cloud examples, where latency plays a very important role. Anything which has to be transacted, communicated in seconds is chosen by edge computing. The other aspect of learning is deep learning, as I mentioned above. It is more on accuracy of the model. This is like mimicking the human brain for performance, and anything which is to be precise and to give an optimal output is trained with deep learning models. Example is autonomous driving, the ADA, as I mentioned in the vehicle system. OTT platforms is another example which I gave. Customized e-commerce. Sir gave an example of customized e-commerce with customized information being displayed on your devices. Anything you had searched yesterday will be listed out in your cart as a suggestions for you. This is where deep learning or model AI is looking or tracking for your information and optimizes the content on your web or the mobile device or any application or application you're using for interest of your customizing your interest of your choice. So this is on the deep learning. Multimodal AI, probably the name explains a bit of it. This is a combination of deep and edge learning, where we can add combinations of models. The numeric text, data, images, and videos all together can be integrated for a better flexibility of training models. This is, of course, a lengthy process because we've been giving different inputs with the different weights and scenario requirements. So probably it takes an additional time for more training the model to the efficiency as compared to edge or deep learning accuracy, but it's again an advantage once it is met the accuracy level. Example is music generation, where input data is collected from multiple content, and then it's analyzed for the environment, and output is generated with precise notes and pitch and tone details. Next is on AI model training methods. Today, we see AI model training methods in two groups: centralized model training and decentralized model training. How centralized model training works is most of the industry standards today are using centralized model training, and this acquires the major share of AI model training in real world condition. How does it this work? This model trainings are done on a one centralized server or a group of servers interrelated with particular set of data which is fed to it. The models are trained with the known set of data to it. So any data new to the centralized model training will still have to be trained. Other method of training is the decentralized model training. This decentralized model training is a structured or a distributed model training where data and information is stored on distributed systems, and it is not restricted to set of data. This is restricted to it is open to any data coming up from any transaction or a authenticated user for the training of the model. Now, probably comparatively to centralized model training, the decentralized model training would have a better, wider, and cross information data with it. But decentralized model training will be an overhead for time because of the training culture. You may not get good information in the right robust of time as we get it for centralized model of training. It may take time to train the models. Here, as we see, the addition of an advantage of having some decentralized model training is privacy, secure shared data, and ethical AI. This brings the interest of introduction to AI with blockchains. What makes the need? Today, AI has a huge volume of data. As I say, a centralized model of data has a huge volume of data and is a continuous process of improvement for training all the models. On the other hand, blockchains, what do? They are trusted platforms to store such data. They taking an example of a distributed training model. Any AI model data which is not secured cannot be relied or cannot be dependent on. Any an advantage of having trusted platform would become an easy go for AI model training. This brings the need of integration of AI with blockchain. It becomes transparent and explainable. to the environment where the data is coming from, how it is being trained, and the efficiency of the model. This answers the need of integration of AI with blockchain. To an extent of AI model of what quality of training is achieved and where we stand today. As I mentioned above earlier, AI model training is a continuous process and is not having a full stop. Today we may have a pause, not a full stop for AI model training, because the data every day is growing and the scenarios are always adding on. The data is, if the data is growing in this numbers of square, the scenarios are adding in the numbers of cubes. That's how the scenarios are getting multiplied every day and day out. And the data. Integration of AI blockchains is still an emerging, as I mentioned, but there are some promising examples we have achieved. One such example is in healthcare and healthcare environment. Today, there are implementations of AI with the blockchain logics, where user or the patient data is captured on a day in, day out scenario of what medications, of what the user or a patient has come up with complaints, what are the medications which are being prescribed to him, and the responsiveness from the respective user on with using of the medications. This record keeping is automated, is automatically shared with AI models for calculation of responsive and improvements, and it is training the AI model for using this information in better upscalement of healthcare industry. The next section talks about benefits of having AI with blockchain. Enhance data security, improve trust on robotic decisions, and collective decision making. Enhanced data security. Why enhanced data security as compared to only AI? The blockchain, as we said, it is cryptographically signed and secured. This brings a better, reliable, and confident data network for AI models to be trained. The data in the cryptographical signed network would be more secure than compared to any open chain network. So cryptocurrency is an example which we spoke on the AI with blockchain and cryptocurrency. As we see, we have an example of a particular finance sector using crypto AI with blockchain to correlate and project the market trend. They also has information on the proposals of market proposals on market changes, like what would go up in the next hour and what would come up in the next week based on the AI analysis. This is the implementation. I'll tell you on the sector which is using this today in the next foils. Then personal record keeping. Personal record keeping is always and the utmost priority for security. So personal record keeping with AI is a advantage for any user or any organization, because any data which is saved in any location would be hard to find if it has if the data becomes bulkier and heavier as the number of records keep increasing. With AI implementation, if there implementation, and just by giving you the key node of the personal information, you can fetch AI and also get the complete history of the user. Improve trust in robotic decisions. Yeah. There was an example where AI is being implemented for autonomous and city management, but it wasn't enough to rely on it because of the training models. There is an information, there is a learning phase where autonomous driving has been integrated with advanced blockchain and blockchain technologies with more data in a secured format, where every data is from not only from one test scenario, but multiple test scenarios are integrated to have a wider and more optimal and responsive condition scenarios. Probably taking an example for an improvement in the ADAS level. ADAS level 1 was an introduction level, and level 2 is an advanced level which can be not be hacked or broken into with any theft. There are other improvements which are being thought through and validated in the automation industry, which will be out in some span of time, which has some more features in the addition. The next is the collective decision making. Why collective decision making? Any decisions which are taken in a collective or a group would be more easily acknowledged or easily accepted by audience than a single user in decision. So this information in the collective additions in a collective manner would add additional weightage. Probably in the market trend, as I mentioned above, market trend is one thing where financial sections are now looking at market trend approach for projecting the market strategy and the status would the next 1 or 2 days and the next week. Search engines, as we mentioned, they do display information based on your previous search history. Anything you search today is based on and search today and is based on your previous interest. If you try for searching for a car, and yesterday if you had searched for a car by particular models, it's probably saying BMW or a Benz, then it would first list out the images of a BMW and Benz, and then followed by third and fourth sections with other models. Your search engines are continuously evolving today with the capability of data saving and information information recollecting for as per the user requirement. Web learning examples now are coming to real world scenarios where there's one particular industry where it shares web learning experience based on user or the student information requirement. If the student is interested in only particular blockchain technology, the information of the web learning displays is focused to the blockchain thing, and based on the content of interest scope and the learning expertise, this content is also being displayed to the user. E-commerce is earlier, as mentioned, personalized suggestions on the web on a application for an Amazon or a Flipkart site is what we have an example for. This table now here talks about blockchain, blockchain features, AI features, and integration advancements or gains of blockchain and AI together. Blockchain, as we see, integration benefits run from enhanced data security, improved trust on robotic decisions, which we mentioned in automotive industry. Collective decision making will be on market trend, the stock market trend, and the projections. Decentralized intelligence. This answers for your record keeping, and high efficiency is as an example for financial section. Coming down to integration of blockchain with AI, opportunities and challenges. What would we gain from it? What would be a challenging thing to get this running? Opportunities in with the neural networks. data integrity is a paramount, because data being a very important aspect in neural networks, training the data models with blockchains would be a heavy lifting process, and anything on a gain of it would naturally do a good achievement, go as a good achievement. Deep learning with AI, this increases the efficiency, but again it is a continuous process, and it would take to take a additional effort to get this running. Training, that is an overhead. Opportunities will be have is tamper proof nature and transparent for non-repeatable manner. Machine learning opportunities stand from data and image processing without, as we see as an example, GenAI is an example of machine learning with the continuous improvements with any format data and improved output of input data. Natural language processing, coming down to NLP, is something we are evolving at it today. One example of natural language processing is chatbots, which today are trying to support multiple languages, multiple user experience scenarios. But they do have some backlog in training the chat blockchain environment because of the support from other models, which dynamically captures the language transaction and responds to that language. There are probably in India, you may see there are around more than 50 plus slangs in language. We may be having around 20 languages, but there are 50 plus slangs in each language. Any a person pronouncing English from Bangalore may be different from person pronouncing English from West Bengal or Calcutta. So these slang supports was also challenging on chatbot training. And also the other aspect is on the input thing. Taking an example, you don't do a voice chat, but you do a text chat. A person who is looking for a support on key management or a vehicle key management may type in as simply type in as my car key is lost. There may be a scenario where the other person says remote authentication device of my vehicle is lost. This analysis of two phrases but resulting in a common answer is what blockchains and chatbots are trying to focus on and achieve optimization in natural language processing. Here are some examples on the real world industries which have integrated AI with blockchain. Some examples are Medrec. Medrec is a branding which gives electronic record maintenance. This provides predictive insights and efficient data sharing among healthcare providers. Supply chain management is having a successful implementation by one of the big giant, IBM, for a food trust project, which it has developed a project for supply and demand and supply management on the food industry. Agri Digital is a similar project on agricultural supply and demand and supply transaction for agricultural products. Grid Plus is focused on consumer energy supply, where based on the requirement of the consumer, the energy is applied onto the required connections. The implementation of all these would give us an efficiency on increased efficiency and cost reduction. Financial services, as I was mentioning earlier, HSBC is a banking sector which has implemented AI plus blockchain application on a handheld device, which gives us a projections and speculations of the market. This analyzes the market trend from the past 2, 3, 4 days and give us projections and tentative information of what can go high and what can come down with the interest of geolocation news, any impacts it would block the market. Education scenario is Sony Global Education, as I mentioned, was the product which has been designed for personalized education based on student interest and improving the outcome of the learning. Sage and IoT is a scenario where it has been designed for real-time threat detection and prevention for IoT devices. It is a scenario where it can be implemented for automotive theft, automation theft with the anti-theft alarm and other applications, and this had to be implemented with IoT for better security and stable uptime. The next slide, I would like to talk more a bit of AI and blockchain implementation in PC world or current market PC R&D design infrastructure. Today, we see that we have been implementing AI and blockchain integrations in hardware level, application level, and OS level. Take an example, hardware level. SSD or a solid state drive is one example where AI and blockchain management has been integrated. To this slide, I will walk through of what are our current scenarios, and we will continue with the AI implementation on the next slide. Today, we have a SSD which is partitioned by a virtual machine or a manual IT environment user, and any scenarios where the storage drive crashes or recovers from an error will have to be a manual intervention from the user. This might happen on the because of the management engine not efficient or is blocked with some problem. Another example is on the camera access. Every application has today, either it can be an OS, Windows OS, or an Android or an iOS device, has application level camera access to the user. This application level camera access is today monitored by blockchain, which authenticates each application with the proxy and permission details, and then continues to authenticate and grant access for every application. That is this settings what we see in camera access is all about maintaining this in the blockchain of the environment. System software management applications are about hardware is about 3 layers. It can be a firmware layer, system driver layer, and the OS level. Firmware layer is the first section I mentioned about SSD, where the SSD partition management is monitored and kept secured for smooth performance. Drivers, every hardware company keep releasing drivers with optimal performance in the flush in a frequent interval, probably once in 15 days or every month releases will keep up to. Even Windows keeps pushing out OS patches for bug fixes and Windows updates. This driver level updates are pushed into the device by our IT admins or by user approvals today. OS level updates as automatic updates from the OS level based on the user applications and what he or the person is using, and the interest of features supported. If the application supports a new set of features, then it would automatically dump or deploy that features into the PC and pop out a message saying this so and so application has been deployed onto PC. How does these applications read the platform information, user information, and the requirements for all this? That is where AI and blockchain comes into action to manage the hardware. SSD management has been done with general purpose machine learning engine. This is your open, flexible, or a wide application engine, which is basically targeted for firmware maintenance. The advantages of having general purpose ML on hardware firmware level is minimizing system disruptions, that is detection of and recovery of failures from faults even before it crashes. Of R is prone to any attacks. Optimizing power and performance by throttling the resources. Every resource or every hardware runs at maximum has two or three performance levels. One is the minimal performance level, one is the maximum performance level, and anything which has a turbo or a robust or a burst performance level reaches that performance level. But most of the hardware are at minimal and maximum performance level. But what happens, the best performance level is always achieved at a medium or a mean performance level. To achieve a best performance, the device has to be running in the mean performance level and not at the minimum or the max performance level. Today, a best scenario you can check this is you have 3 power modes in your PC: balanced, best power efficiency, and best performance. Balanced is intermediate. Best power efficiency is most power saving. Best performance is highest performance but less power saving. This all the internal devices also internally are correlated to this power modes. Dynamic adjustment of information to be collected and stored for smart telemetry, along with optimal performance tracking or the device maintenance. There is one internal activity every device does or hardware does is capture its own information of how it is performing or how it is running. Is it performing at a best performance? Is it running at best temperature, admittable temperature? Is it overshooting the temperature? Is it staying at high power mode at all the intervals, or is it going to a low power device mode when the device is not active with any process thread? This information is called as device telemetry, and this information has been captured every time with the addition of AI and blockchain. So this addition of these increases the performance and the power efficiency of any hardware device on the PC. The next section is about camera peripheral access. Camera peripheral access is, as I mentioned, we have a lot of application level access scenarios which have been brought into industry. One example is sorry, user presence sensing. Taking an example that camera has been granted access for user presence sensing. There are today devices in market where a user is using a system and he just walks away from the system without locking it or even putting it to sleep or shutting it down. The user presence sensing device detects that the user is not sitting in front of the system for 30 seconds, 1 minute, as the user has for the duration a user has set, and puts the system to low power mode. It completely encapsulates or suspends all running applications and puts the system to low power mode. Probably it can be S4 or modern standby, and by itself without any user intervention or any pin lock or any key. On the other hand, if the user comes back from a break or so, the system which has been in low power mode as hibernation or a modern standby wakes back to system to desktop mode by itself as soon as it detects the user coming back to his location just in front of the laptop. This happens in the fraction of 1 or 2 seconds. This is the AI authentication and blockchain involvement of presence sensing, which is implemented in most of the designs today. Onlooker detection is one example where we have which is similar to shoulder surfing or shoulder snooping. Taking example, user is documenting something, and there is someone who is looking on your shoulder from a distant position. The camera continuously keeps sensing the user presence in front of the system, and anytime it detects two users in front of the system in two phases, it gives an alarm saying onlooker detection, and tries to mask the content in the system display. This has been today a successful implementation for personal systems designs. Privacy marking and geolocation sensing. Privacy marking and geolocation sensing is one implementation where probably you would do a setting on your system. It can be on a Windows or a Android or an iPhone. You do a setting of location-based Wi-Fi on your device. As soon as you go into a location, it connects to that particular Wi-Fi network. And once you move to that from location 1 to location 2, it connects to the second Wi-Fi network in the location 2. This is geolocation sensing. And similarly, in laptops, there is a scenario where IR also plays a role. Geolocation sensing plus IR together gives us information security. Example is a user is documenting a private document or a release or a paper, and there is a IR camera which is sensing the user from the internal device, and geolocation sensing is also capturing information of the where the location and the system is kept on. In case there is an there is an onlooker from the onlooker from the device, and there is also a information of the geolocation sensing not meeting the safe geolocation and settings, it would block the system completely and make it go to sleep. This is an implementation which has been released with requests from customers. The last one is Windows Hello or Windows Hello or space enrollment, which we have today in all systems. An additional condition is that of anti-spoofing. Anti-spoofing is usually in all WinHello systems, we have one direct face enrollment, but in anti-spoofing, it captures 3D imaging of your user. The front view image, the left angled view image, and the right angled view image. This adds additional security in user enrollment, which makes any unauthenticated user login challenging. Next scenario is about system software platform management. Today, we have the platform error detection and recovery. Anytime system crashes, before system crashes, the system tries to detect the error and recover back to the previous state. Or if even in condition a system has crashed, it records back to previous state with the last restored image condition. In addition to these legacy scenarios, we have application benefits of AI, where applications can automatically get terminated. And everyone might have seen applications on handheld devices, either iOS and Android, where applications which are very rarely used get auto suspended and they go to offline mode. Similarly, on PCs today, applications which are not frequently used are offloaded to cloud backup, and any data related to that will be saved on cloud backup, releasing local system drive for better optimization. Today, there are some applications which are coming up in the market to assist on AI application layer. Some examples are live captioning, live translations, data recovery, and application priority. Live captioning, as we see today, is in market with the terminology as it quotes. Any user who is conversation is interacting on a live call, captions do appear on the conversation. Probably in case I am talking to a person from Arabic geolocation, and the other person is talking to me in Arabic. On the fly, live caption translates that information, the Arabic language information, to me in English language. This is termed as live captioning. Live translation internally explains the same. Arabic to English language, or English to Arabic language, or any Chinese language translations is called live translation. This is also done on a fly, or as we talk on Teams or Zoom, and even Google Meet and any video conferencing applications. Data recovery today is via most of the applications, where it saves information and recovers even though the system data is not saved. The document is not saved. There are scenarios where the system crashes abruptly or goes to shut down or something. Today, in Windows 10 and 11, if we see, there are all the data you have typed in the last state would be recovered without any loss with the assistant of Microsoft data recovery applications. And application priorities are is a scenario where AI keeps sensing the application you are using frequently and keeps that on a priority as compared to other non-frequent usage applications. And these priorities are also set to have these applications triggered first as compared to other non-frequently used applications at system boot time. Probably an example is Microsoft Outlook is loaded first, and then Teams and other browser applications are loaded based on the priority of frequency in user uses it. These are some examples of real-world AI and blockchain implementations as we see today. So this is what we had for today, and just go back to my intro. This is me. Anyone has any questions we can discuss? I'll check on chat.
Dear participants, if you have any questions, you can put into the chat box.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. On behalf of everyone here, I would like to sincerely thank you for today's session. Your insights and expertise have been incredibly valuable, and we are all grateful for the time and effort you put into sharing your knowledge with us. Thank you, sir.
Sure. Thank you. I'd be appreciated.
As we come to the end of today's session of our faculty development program on AI and security, current trends and future research, I would like to take a moment to thank all our distinguished speakers of today and participants for their valuable contribution today. I thank management, principal sir, HODs for their continuous support. Dear participants, please do fill the feedback form that is shared in the chat box as well as in the group for session 3 as well as session 4. So we look forward to have you all back tomorrow as we continue this journey of growth and learning together. Thank you one and all.